All right, construction champions, it's your host, Ron Nussbaum, and we're here for another amazing episode of Construction Champions podcast where we're burning the house down. It's getting so crazy that when I just hit my hand down, my camera shifted angles there. So if you're watching and you're wondering why there's all of a sudden white over, it's this side over here, it's just because we're that fired up today. And if you're not watching on the video and you're listening on the audio, get fired up. We're ready to rock and roll. I have a rock solid guest with us today. Tom, it is great to have you on the show.
Hey, thanks a lot, Ron. It's great to be here.
Man, I'm excited about our conversation today. But before we really dive into it, why don't you tell all the construction champions out there a little bit about yourself, what got you here to today, what excites you about the construction industry?
Well, Ron, I'm a digital marketer for roofing companies, but the way I ended up in that position is when I was 14, my dad was a carpenter, so I started helping him on job sites. When I was young, vinyl siding job, and when I was 19, I got my builder's license. Now this is back in the early 90s. And my dad and I, we were partners for 15 years. He retired. I did it for another about 5 years, but realized it was more for his company. So I did some other things and ended up back into marketing because I built our first company website in 1999. So that's kind of what brought me here. I found Builder Comms. I want to integrate it with my roofing CRM, customer relationship management. And that's how you and I met.
Yeah, I remember our first conversation when you brought up building a website in 99. And I said, I think you might be the first contractor and builder that was on the internet that had a website.
Well, I'm not so sure about that because I do remember looking at other people's sites back then, but yes, it was very early on.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm excited for our conversation today. You have lots of experience, grew up around the industry. This is always some of my favorite guests. So we're going to dive right in there, and I'm going to ask you the $1,000,000 question, and that is, what makes a construction champion?
Wow, what a great question. What makes a construction champion? And I think there's a lot of things that could fit into that question for an answer, but I think really what makes a construction champion is somebody that is true to their word. Because I know when I talk to a lot of different customers that are in the roofing company, in the roofing industry, my customers, they always tell me about, they always want to put stuff on their website about, hey, we answer our phones, we call you back, we do what we say we're going to do, right? Because they say they hear it from their customers that a lot of contractors don't call them back, don't do what they say they're going to do. So I think that if you will simplify it to that a contractor that does what they say they're gonna do, that makes a construction champion.
I love it because that is like that's one of the narratives around the industry is like
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give somebody a check and I might or might not hear back from them or what, like they're just going to show up and start the project one day. To me, like that the bar is really low on what the expectations are. Like when you're talking about putting on your website, like we answer the phone, like to me that saddens me. Like being that, I've been around the industry for coming up on 15 years and like I think that's bullshit. That's not how it should be. Can you imagine any other industry where that's the bar? Like we answer our phone and that is a marketing element. It's something that would generate leads. We have to fix this.
No, I agree with you, and I think it's terrible. If you're in business, you want your phone to ring. Like that's what I generate. What I built my company off of is getting the phone to ring for roofing contractors.
Hmm.
So if you're not answering your phone, you're losing money. I definitely believe that wholeheartedly that if you're not answering your phone, you're losing money. And what I understand there's times where you can't. You're on a ladder, you're hiking up a bundle of shingles or whatever. You probably use your elevator for that or had it delivered on the roof. But still, there's times you can't answer your phone. And I got a great service in my CRM that addresses that. It's called the missed call text back. So anytime you miss a call, my system, my CRM will automatically text that customer back with whatever message you want. Hey, sorry I missed your call. I was on a ladder. You know, what can I do for you today, or whatever the case may be, something to get them engaged so you're not missing that lead.
Yeah, no, and so with that being said, I think like we know where the bar is at.
Yeah.
We know like to me, like we just have to do better. Like I think like either your software, however we do it, like we can't just look at it as like let's throw on our website that we answer phone calls or we answer your message. Like let's just go out and deliver customer experiences that we would want to receive. Like I've been on both ends of it and I've been on shitty both ends of it. And like, I think if people just focused on like, this is how I would want it to happen if that was my wife, if that was my mom, if that was my kid, like, and deliver that experience, it would just pay 10 forward.
You're correct. You know that I think that you kind of brought up the golden rule: treat others as you would want to be treated yourself, right? I mean, it really kind of boils down to that on what we're talking about right now. But I think that that is the narrative. That is the low bar, the set low bar. I know I'm in Michigan, and when I was a contractor, I remember hearing the same things, and I haven't been doing construction for over 10 years now. So, and even back then, it was the same thing. People would say, hey, you were the first contractor that answered your phone. And to me, that was rudimentary. I was like, really? This is so basic to answer the phone. But, some people are really good at construction work, but they're not really good at communication. And I think that's where that separation is when they are out there and, they're good at their job, but they don't really know what to say to the customer. They might have a salesperson or something. That's what you need to do, is you need to find somebody else. If you're not good at it, get someone else to do it.
I love that because that does matter. And when we start going back in history, it's no secret I own Builder Comms and we're a communication platform. And in my market research on this and stuff, like I was able to dig up an article from 1991 that addressed that the three biggest problems on a project timeline. Number two was communication. 1991. Like I don't even I can't even fathom how we have not just gotten better. Like it's the elephant in the room. I say it all the time, is like we just like let's just fix it. Like let's just be great at communication and our customers will love it. There's some guys out there that do it really, really good.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the industry as a whole has one of the worst reputations ever. Like it's insane.
Yeah, I almost with every customer when I'm onboarding them, we have a similar discussion. I always ask them, I say, do you answer your phone? Are you missing calls? And then we go into setting up, like I was talking about, the missed call where you can get a text or whatnot. But that's one of the first things I really want to touch with them, because if you're not going to answer your phone, I'm not going to plaster your phone number all across your website. We're going to make a different call to action. We're going to say, send us a text or fill out this form or email us, right? Because if you're not gonna, then we're not going to try to send them to you, your leads that direction, right? We just got to work around it. Because some
I
people
love
just won't.
that.
Some people just won't answer their phones.
And it's like there's other alternative. Now we're going to go down that like that. I love this conversation because there's other alternatives than sending them to your phone when you're on a job site or like you're not the person to be answering a phone. We had Brittany on here a few weeks ago, and she had like said, like, why is your number the number? When you're on the job site, like you have people that could answer the phones, or you need to hire somebody to answer or you need to figure out some way else. Like, why are you sending people to your phone number and you're on a job site 12 days a week? And that's what you're talking about, nipping that in the butt from the moment that you start to work with somebody.
Correct. Yes, just because I know that it's a problem in the communications with a lot of, I'm not going to say all, because Of course, there's some people that will answer their phone whether they're tripping, and they'll answer it, right? They don't care because they know that's money. They realize that's where their money comes from. You answer the phone, that could be, a 30, 40, $50,000, $100,000 job. You don't know. So you better
Yeah, but you
answer
might be
it.
falling off a roof and it might not be the best time for the best
Well,
first impression.
I might have been, giving a little creative liberty there saying that, but you know what I'm saying. Some people will answer their phone no matter what,
Yeah.
and others that don't. There's more of them that don't. So that's where
Mhm.
I come in with my CRM to make sure there's other ways, forms, text, different ways that you can make sure you're not letting any leads. That's what a CRM is for, really, is to make sure your leads don't slip through the cracks.
Yeah, so let's dive into that a little bit on what are some of the best ways that you're finding your clients to have success with that instead of putting their phone number out there that still like speed to lead capture and that stuff.
Mhm.
Like what are guys having success with these days other than trying to answer the phone when it rings?
Well, I think what you said is I recommend that a lot too, is hiring someone or an answering service. If you're just not going to do it and you're not going to do it, 'cause some people do know that, then hire a service. It'll
Mm.
pay for itself. There's no question about that. Or we've had a lot of good success with, having an email listed with maybe an offer. So, hey, email us for this offer. So that's helped. Or fill out this form, and then you have like a little radio button, a little, square where you can put a check in it, or a check mark or something, and to say, hey, I'd like to claim the free offer. So you offer them something. A lot of times with roofers, they'll say a free upgrade to dimensional or architectural shingles from 3-tab. Well,
Mm.
nobody's putting on 3-tab, so that's just that's what they're going to do anyway. So they offer it as a free upgrade, and then that way you're enticing them. So instead of call for the free upgrade, hey, you want the free upgrade, fill out this form. So that way that's what they're doing, because they want to get that lead generation, something you're giving, right?
Yeah, no, I like that, and then it's directing the traffic where you want it to go. I think because you have to have all of this information on your websites, like that's just how it is. But you can direct the traffic where you want it to go with different offers or
Mhm.
like creating that customer experience that is the experience that works best for your company and that customer. And by doing that kind of stuff, like I don't think we look at that enough of like what you just said is you can create ways to drive the customer to where you want them to click and do what you want them to do. And they feel like it's what they're doing. Like it's they're making the decision to do this, but it's really what you want them to do. You don't want them to pick up the phone and call you, even though your number's on the website. You want them to take this course of action.
Correct. Yeah, I have with my customers, when I build a website, I have this great tool that offers to give them a free quote, and they just have to answer some simple, they just, what shape is your roof? And it shows the different shapes of roofs, and they click on it. So it's really easy. It takes 2 minutes to fill out, and what it is just a lead generation system. They can just say how much they charge per square, different things add on, and it's just instead of going to their house to give a free estimate, this is a way that they can do it right from their website, super easy and interactive. And then again, the person didn't call. They filled out, they got a rough estimate, that initial, hey, this is what, hey, your roof is going to cost $22,000 approximately, and then they would be able to follow up after that.
Hmm. I like that. So does that do, I mean, does it give like a range in there? Does it just hit a number and say this is approximately what it's going to be? Or
Yeah, it's a range. It's however you want to set it up. So it's very flexible, and the type of questions, we start with a worksheet. I send the roofer a worksheet so they can fill it out on what their pricing is. And then that just gets inputted into there. And then it does have a disclaimer, this is site, I haven't seen your roof or whatever. So they understand that that's not an exact estimate. That's just a rough estimate.
so this is just me thinking. I don't know. I mean, might not be feasible, but does it then take them down the road of being able to set up financing on the spot and then schedule that project like all in that like in a funnel right there for I
In
mean
that, well, what it does is we can set up things like that. Yes, absolutely. It all depends on the workflow that the company wants, the roofing company wants to do, whatever their workflow. So if they want to go through there and give them the option to schedule a on-site setting, we can absolutely do that right through the CRM at with a separate calendar for that. So the calendar would say, hey, set up your appointment. We could set special times and days for it. I mean, everything can be automated. It takes a little bit of setup, but that's what I'm for, to make sure that all those, when they do this, they fill that out, and then they get, hey, would you like an on-site, more of, an exact estimate? We can do it here. You can even have it. Let's say I know it's getting more common for builders and roofers to charge for estimates, right? Especially if you give them a free one off your website. If you want an exact price, I'll come out for $150 or $200 or whatever it is, and they can pay right on the calendar. So when they're scheduling, they go, "Yep, I want you to come on. I like what you do. My friend recommended you come on out," and then they charge them that $150. And if they hire them, of course, they put it into it, right? I mean, most builders will do that if they charge, but I've seen a lot of them do that, and we'll just put the pay form right on the calendar so they can pay right when they're scheduling it, and you don't have to worry about picking up a check or hope they pay when you show up at the job to measure it, to give them an estimate. It's already paid.
yeah, no, I liked it. So I mean, I'm just always thinking of like I don't know. I tend to be a visionary and disruptor when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I just
Sure.
kind of think as I'm working through that workflow in my head, and this is like a crazy conversation to have on a podcast because this is just like something me and you would probably just talk about
Yep.
randomly is but like so if I'm the leading roofer in an area,
Yep.
I'm going to have a lot of people that are just going to do business with me because of who I am. If
Sure.
I get them on the website, they do a free estimate,
Hmm.
it falls within their budget or they want to do financing, I can on the spot get them approved for fine. I know there's companies out there that do this on the spot can get them approved for financing or take their deposit without ever coming out to the house
Hmm.
and then have put them right on our installation calendar straight through that. And part of that would be is, hey, we're gonna have somebody's gonna come out and do a measurement and quick review, so we have the exact numbers, but it's going to fall within this range. It's gonna be this amount to this amount, unless you're lying about something. But you get them locked in with the deposit, like it's a done deal. It's on the installation calendar. You just have to send somebody out there and that's not going to be everybody that comes to your website, but that might be like 1 to 5% of people that they're just going to do business with you because it's a referrer. They know you're the leader in the area, and that's 5% that you don't have to do any BS on. That job just automatically comes in and lands on your calendar. And
Well,
I love that.
you're right. You can even automate contracts. You can automate everything, so you can get digital signatures, and all you got to do in the CRM is just press a button, and all this stuff will start happening. Right? They fill out that form, and it could happen automatically. Send them an email. Here's your estimate. Would you like to accept, or do you want more of an exact, or and then they could click that button. So the customer can do all the work. You're right. You can set up have the financing come in right at a certain spot. Hey, would you like financing? Here's the offer. Absolutely.
Throw a couple videos in there.
You could,
I
yeah.
mean, I think that's how so I had this whatever like 5 years ago. I I didn't pitch this. I just was like, here's how I think the future is I think the future for a lot of this stuff is you're like you go on these sites, whether it's the Angie's List or the whatever, all the ones we don't like, and what ends up happening is you're making your purchase on there. Like I think some of this stuff that's generic stuff from siding to windows to roofing to stuff that's pretty simple.
Mhm.
I was in I did we did basement waterproofing and stuff. And you sell that by the linear foot. So you could set up a system where somebody could just come in and say, this is how many linear foot, and you just send somebody out there to measure it because people have confidence in who you are. Like if you build the brand right, there's
Mhm.
only going to be so many players in your area. And some people are just going to say, this is who I'm doing business with. And if you create a painless buying process for them, because that's what a lot of people want. Like if you already know this is where I'm going and I'm buying this car and I'm doing this, like you just want it to be painless. A lot of times you go to that dealership and they make it painful for no reason at all.
No reason.
Just because they're trying to get this, they want to do the sale, they want this process. But even if you're like I'm here. I'm going to buy that Escalade. Let's get it financed. Let's do what we need to do. They still want to go through the sales process because they feel like they owe that to you. But like, I've already made my decision. That's the car I want. And this is the dealership I want to do business with. I want this painless and the car sitting in my driveway. And I think we can do that in our sales process in the construction industry as well.
No, I agree. And that exactly that example you gave about the car lot and then wanted to put you through this whole painful sales process. That's how things like Carvana became, where you can go online and buy a car and they'll deliver it right to your door. No
Mhm.
sales process is needed. So I agree that I think that in the construction industry, if people are coming pre-positioned to buy, they know what they want, they have their budget, they're ready to go. They want you because of your marketing, word of mouth, whatever it is. If they're pre-positioned to buy, we should make it easy for them to do so.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. I love it. I love what you're doing. For all the construction champions out there, if they wanted to connect with you, follow you, learn more about what you do, where's the best place for them to reach out?
Well, the best place would probably be on LinkedIn, I would say, and they can reach me on there. Just search my name, Tom Bartholomew. I should come up number one for sure on there because I'm pretty active. I have over 14,000 followers on LinkedIn, so that's really where I do a lot. I mean, they can find me on Facebook as well, but LinkedIn is definitely the place, or my website, bartholomewmediagroup.com.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for being on the show today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And this is what I love to do.
Awesome. All right, construction champions, another amazing episode. Do you answer your phone? Like, you like that pause there? Because that's a lot of times that's what your customers hear when they call you because we don't answer the phone. And a lot of times we don't even have our voicemail set up. So it's like double negative right away. I think we had great, I don't think I know, we had very great conversation today about like visionary stuff that can happen within your business and your funnel as you set this up. If you are an industry leader in your area, like think about that percentage of people that are doing business with you no matter what, because you have built that reputation. And are you making that a painful process for them, or are you making that an easy process? It's an easy exercise. It's something easy to look in the mirror and just say and take a look at. So, construction champions, make sure you go join our Construction Champions Mastermind group on Facebook. Drop us a follow and leave us a comment on this episode with what you thought. And make sure you go check out all of our sponsors that keep this show rocking and rolling. And until next time, be the champion you were meant to be. Hey, construction champions, it's your host, Ron Nussbaum here, and I want to talk to you about how you can automate all of your marketing. We've had so many people on here talk about getting the systems in place. Well, we have partnered with Build 12 and Construction Champions podcast. Les O'Hara, the founder, what really excites me is his 30 years in the industry. And now he's built a system to be able to nurture your leads and continue to utilize that. I personally use the system myself. Build 12 is absolutely amazing. There's a lot of value in there, and it's a way to start getting away from Angie's List and all of that kind of stuff and start actually creating your own leads every day and have a system for them. So go on our website, check out the show notes, go check out Build 12 and what it can do for the front end of your business today. It's absolutely amazing. I highly recommend going and meeting with Les and his son, Devin, and talking to him about what they built for their own business so the rest of the industry can take benefit from that. Here on Construction Champions, we're all about helping each other out. And what is better than contractors helping contractors? I say nothing. So let's go take this to the next level. Go check out Build 12. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Les or his son, Devin. We're here to help. We want to continue to grow the industry.